Well, good morning, everyone. Principal Pam LeVar, Judge Bauer. I know my dad was very close to you, as well as John Earl Ward. He was very, very proud of both of you. Mr. Priester, family and friends, fellow alumni, faculty and staff, and parents and students of Immaculate Conception High School, I'm truly honored and flattered to receive this prestigious award. Trust me when I say you touched my heart. I'd like to thank the award selection committee as well as my mom, Ann, and my brother, Eric, who nominated me. I know my mom's very proud of me, as she is of all of her children. Thank you. It's always a treat for me to come back here to Elmhurst, and I even love the snow. I left here almost 35 years ago to join the Navy, but I still consider Elmhurst home. In many ways, it seems like just yesterday that I left for Annapolis. I have such great memories of IC High School, football and basketball games, sock hops and dances, student council meetings, class trips to the Warren Dunes, and not studying very much during study hall. I also clearly remember Monsignor Plunkett, the founder of this school. When I was a young altar boy, if I got up early and served 6:30 a.m. Mass for an entire week, Monsignor would give me a crisp, brand new $1 bill after Mass on Saturday night. Of course, $1 back then went a whole lot farther than it does today. When I left home in 1975 to attend the United States Naval Academy, I had really no idea what I was getting myself into. Those 4 years at the Academy, particularly my first year as a plebe, were really tough. Tough academically, tough physically, and tough mentally and emotionally. But my upbringing and education here at Immaculate Conception prepared me well. It was more than just the great academic training, though. It was the self-confidence and the discipline and the notion of duty before self that became part of who I am. I believe it's that whole person concept that Catholic schools imbue that resonates so well with the career in the military. Many call it servant leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had a wonderful career in the United States Navy. The old adage of join the Navy and see the world is so very true. I've been to China, Korea, Japan, Indonesia, Afghanistan, Kuwait, Bahrain. I've been through the Panama Canal 4 times. I've been to Cuba, Germany, Italy, and France, to name a few. And a week from this Friday, I'll be riding a float in the Mardi Gras Parade in New Orleans. The Navy has also given me huge amounts of responsibility. Even as a young 26-year-old lieutenant standing watch aboard a nuclear submarine, I was responsible for the lives and the safety of 130 men and a $2 billion submarine. And today, some 25 years later, I'm now responsible for the training and readiness of the Navy Reserve, a force of 67,000 personnel. The Navy expects a lot out of its people. But without question, the greatest thrill of my career has been the privilege of serving with the fine young men and women this country has to offer. Our sailors, many of whom just graduated from high school. By the way, last Friday, the week ago Friday, I was the reviewing officer at Great Lakes, where we graduated 600 new sailors into the Navy. They're an incredible group. These patriots are part of a tradition of voluntary military service dating back to George Washington's Continental Army. Right now, America's Navy is deployed around the world with 147 ships underway. Our fleet and sailors are conducting anti-piracy operations off the east coast of Africa and anti-drug operations in the Caribbean. They're also building maritime security agreements with other nations around the world because we believe that creating peace through partnerships is as important as winning wars. And 16 of those ships I mentioned, including the hospital ship USNS Comfort, are on station near Haiti, providing critical humanitarian assistance and disaster relief to that devastated island nation. All of us should feel proud of what these sailors are doing. Now, what you may not be aware of is that your Navy has nearly 11,000 sailors on the ground around the world in support of overseas contingency operations, including Iraq and Afghanistan. That's 11,000 sailors who are in the Middle East. And that's in addition to nearly 10,000 sailors who are serving aboard the ships deploying to the Middle East. Seeing what they do every day and the spirit of good humor with which they do it is an inspiration to me. Now, I would be remiss today if I didn't acknowledge that even as I speak, a 25-year-old Navy reservist like me, who served as a medic, a corpsman, with our Marines in Afghanistan, is being laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery. He paid the ultimate sacrifice, and as hard as it is to bury our brave, we should all be grateful that we have young men and women like him who are willing to lay down their lives to defend the freedoms that so many take for granted. You know, back in 1963, the very month that I started first grade here, President John F. Kennedy addressed the freshman class at the Naval Academy and said, I quote, "I can imagine no more rewarding a career, and any man who may be asked in this century what he did to make his life worthwhile, I think can respond with a good deal of pride and satisfaction." Quote, "I served in the United States Navy," unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly how I feel too. So if you'll indulge me, let me close my remarks with a few regrets and some lessons that I've learned since leaving IC High School. My regrets. 1, not taking typing lessons. I think I could have shaved a year off of my life if I had taken typing. 2, taking Latin instead of a conversational language. And 3, not taking golf lessons as a young man, because I had a terrible slice of it. That's my way of saying I have absolutely no regrets, and I would do everything over and over again. As for lessons learned, let me share 5. 1, and I'm really addressing our students here, be a volunteer. My late dad, Fred, who was a pillar in this community, used to say that the world would probably come to a halt if we didn't have volunteers. I think he was right. 2, follow the golden rule. As trite as that may sound, putting your feet into the shoes of your neighbors builds a much-needed sense of empathy and open-mindedness. 3, work hard at everything you do. Opera star Beverly Sills once said, "There are no shortcuts to any place worth going." I think she's right too. 4, learning doesn't stop with a diploma or a degree. It's a lifelong continuum. Even old horses can learn new tricks. Perhaps someday I'll take German and golf lessons. And 5, never underestimate the power of saying thank you. It's simple, it's cheap, it can be inspirational, but I don't believe you say it enough. So with that, let me close by saying a special, long overdue thank you to all the priests and the nuns and the lay teachers and the staff here at Immaculate Conception High School who selflessly gave of themselves and enabled me to be here this morning to receive this award. They inspired me. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless all of you. God bless the United States.